I'd like to call on Vice Chair Dunn to move approval of the minutes of February 28th, 2023.
Move approval of the minutes of February 28th, 2023.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded that the minutes be approved. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, no. The minutes of February 28th, 2023 are approved. We do have an addition to the council agenda. Madam Clerk.
Thank you. We are adding a proclamation claiming Irish Week, and this proclamation is being added to the agenda for acknowledgement by the council.
Thank you. Without objection, so ordered. It is my pleasure today to welcome our county executive to deliver the State of the County address. And I would call on Vice Chair Dunn to please escort our honorable county executive to the podium. Good luck. Yep. If you're not back in 10 minutes, we'll send reinforcements. Please welcome the Honorable King County Executive, Dow Constantine.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chair Updegrove. Thanks to the members of the council for the warm welcome. Our employees, the people of King County, 2.3 million people now in King County. Before I begin, I want to take a moment to applaud Councilmember McDermott and Councilmember Cole-Wells. Thank you for all that you've done for the communities you've served in the House, in the Senate, at this county council. I know you're both looking forward to the next chapter, but not so fast. Because I and we are counting on getting more good work done together with you this year. Thank you for your service. The county charter requires that the county executive deliver an annual statement of the financial and governmental affairs of the county. This address is always something more than that. It's not about the line items or county code, but about what we value and who we fight for. What we value and who we fight for. This notion is ingrained in everything we do as leaders. Everything our 18,000 employees do every day. King County, I stand here today proud of all that we have accomplished. And looking back, the list of hard-won victories is remarkable. The achievements of our employees form a roadmap of which any government would be envious. But I'm even more excited about the road ahead. We have an opportunity right now to create a place, a global metropolitan region, worthy of our children and of theirs. If we seize it, we can show this state and this nation what it means for a government to be a catalyst for progress, and in that progress, to leave no one behind. Let's start with the crisis of chronic homelessness. This is one of the most obvious, most impactful challenges in our community. And while its origins are many, it requires the policy and fiscal leverage of government and the strength of our entire region to solve. Too many of our neighbors spend their days worrying about how they're going to survive the night or where they're going to get their next meal. But unlike other places, we've decided that here in King County, we're not going to treat homelessness as an annoyance to overlook, but a challenge we can help people overcome. That's why 2 years ago in this speech, I launched Health Through Housing and the acquisition of our first hotel. Since then, we have purchased 10 more properties, and now nearly 600 formerly unhoused people have a place to call home. On top of that, together with our partners across the county, we funded another 640 homes last year for veterans and people transitioning out of homelessness. And today I'm pleased to report that we're working closely with our South County cities, moving people from encampments along the Green River into housing with the support to start again. It is strong progress, but it's just the beginning. These folks aren't just getting shelter. They're getting the security of a home, a bed to return to at night, a launch pad to begin the next chapter. More than 350 people experiencing homelessness are doing just that, beginning the next chapter with our jobs and housing program. They're earning a living wage, moving into a place of their own, and turning skills and talent into a job. A job's much more than just a paycheck. This program is helping our neighbors reclaim agency, autonomy, dignity. There's no escaping the fact that our region's staggering economic success has been great for a lot of folks, particularly those at the top. But too many have been left behind. We must make it affordable for everyone here to have a home. That's why we invested $25 million in housing affordable to working people with more modest incomes. And more than 1,000 of those new units are opening this year. You know our mission, our true north, to make this a place where every person has not just what they need to survive, but has the opportunity to thrive. King County must be a place that is affordable to live. But more than that, it must be a just place to live for everyone in every neighborhood, every day. Over the last few years, this nation's been having a long overdue conversation about what it means to ensure genuine justice for all. In King County, we have been acting on it. We've expanded our diversion programs, holding individuals accountable for their actions while helping turn lives around and reducing repeat offenses. In the next few weeks, the Sheriff's Office will begin deploying body-worn and dash cameras, a critical tool of transparency and objectivity for the communities we serve. Under the leadership of Sheriff Patty Cole-Tyndall, we've hired more than 55 new deputies. And we're bringing the latest de-escalation and anti-bias expertise to the hard work of keeping us all safe. Protecting health and safety requires constant vigilance. Fentanyl has flooded American streets, including ours, with tragedy after tragedy. King County is fighting back. In the last year, the Sheriff's Office stopped more than 750,000 pills from hitting the streets. Public Health connected 10,000 people with treatment. Our Human Services staff distributed more than 13,000 overdose prevention kits. But there be no mistake. Through all these accomplishments, we're making King County safer and more just today than it was a year ago. And we will work every day so that we can say the same next year. Even as we expand possibility and prosperity today, we're also taking decisive action to secure it for our children and for theirs. Few places in America cherish the natural environment like King County. It's our way of life. And that's why I proposed, and this council sent to voters, a measure to restore the Conservation Futures Fund. With an overwhelming 70% of the November vote, the people told us to keep preserving and restoring irreplaceable wilderness and open space for all the generations that will follow. We're removing barriers along streams, opening up long-lost habitat for salmon, investing in the health of Puget Sound. And we worked with the Muckleshoot tribe to remove the levee and restore the place called Choctaw along the Green River. In a few weeks, we'll celebrate the opening of another project along the Cedar River, protecting against flooding and improving even more salmon habitat. To fight against the greatest threat, climate change, each of us can take small steps in our daily lives. But King County also has the responsibility to take giant leaps. And that's why we have made Metro Transit even greener. Thanks to 40 new battery electric buses and a new charging station, well on the way to our goal of a zero emission fleet by 2035. Now, next week, we launch the Rapid Ride H line. And as a reminder, every young person in King County can now ride free anywhere they need to go, thanks to the free youth transit pass. All of this is possible thanks to the tireless work of all of us, not just public servants, but our partners in the community, labor unions, tribal nations, cities, business leaders, community-based organizations, everyone in King County. And none of it would have happened without the support of this council and the adoption of our biennial budget last fall. That budget is one we can all stand behind. But despite our strong record of fiscal stewardship over many years, the storm is ahead. Unless the legislature finally reforms our broken tax system, now, we will be making harmful cuts to essential services as early as this fall. This is a story that starts more than 2 decades ago. In 2001, an initiative was floated to cap our primary funding source, the property tax, at 1%, below the rate of inflation. And unlike city governments, counties don't have access to utility or B&O funding sources. This county's residents voted against that initiative, but the rest of the state did not, and it became law. And even when the Supreme Court threw it out, the legislature locked it right back in. Every household knows that inflation has not stayed anywhere near 1%, especially recently. Since 2001, our population has grown nearly 30%, and consumer prices are up 70%, far, far beyond where the law caps our ability to keep up. The cuts will have to come from the general fund budget, which does not have a lot of room to work with. First off, nearly 75 cents of every dollar in the general fund is dedicated to state-mandated criminal legal system costs. And then in the quarter that's left, there are countless mission-critical investments. Everything from sheriff's deputies to public health clinics, programs that keep people out of the criminal legal system, environmental and farmland protection, and help for survivors of domestic violence. We even stand to lose funding that our elections staff needs to protect our democracy. This is the stark reality if the legislature does not fix the problem it created. We should not let a bad idea from nearly a quarter century ago, one that King County voters rejected, dictate our finances today. The legislature must take action this year, this session, to finally undo this short-sighted policy so that we can continue leading, continue investing, continue building the future we all want. Also depends on another urgent proposal. Our chance for practical, humane, genuine solutions to untreated behavioral health problems. The crisis care centers now. How many people are in jail when they need to be in a treatment bed? How many people are at risk on the street when they just need a place to recover? How many people? How many families in every community are quietly suffering with nowhere to turn for help? Providing crisis care and treatment beds and compassionate professional help is the right and decent thing to do. But it's also the smart thing to do at a time when jails and hospitals are bursting at the seams and so many people are sleeping in our streets. This measure was developed in partnership with cities, providers, clinicians, paramedics, with law enforcement and members of this council. And if approved next month, it will take on 3 critical areas of unmet need First, there is currently no walk-in urgent care clinic in King County for a person in mental health or addiction crisis. None. All too often, there's the emergency room, there's jail, or, as we've all seen, there's the street. With this levy, we can chart a new course by building a network of 5 crisis care centers across the county, including one exclusively for youth, where people can get immediate help. Second, we will stop the alarming loss of longer-term residential treatment beds and build back the capacity that has disappeared as aging community facilities have closed. And finally, we'll invest in the workforce to ensure that those caring for patients can have fulfilling and sustainable careers. Because it takes people to treat people. With the approval of voters, King County will set out with renewed energy and resolve, opening up access to behavioral health care for the people we serve. And while our plan is built by and for our community, this crisis impacts families nationwide. That's why I'm honored to co-chair a national commission on mental health and well-being, made up of county leaders seeking solutions for our own communities and calling on Congress for action nationally. There's another point in the behavioral health system where we need state help. Under the law, when a person is charged with a crime and deemed not competent to stand trial, the state has 7 days to transfer them out of jail and provide that person with competency restoration services. In other words, they have 1 week to get them the help they need so they can have their day in court. The state is simply failing through a lack of funding, a lack of capacity, or a lack of political will. The backlog has left hundreds of people around our state waiting in a jail cell for the help they need. For King County, there are around 100 people languishing in our custody on any given day, unable to be tried and without access to court-ordered services, some for up to 10 months. Now, because of this failure, the state is being held in contempt of court, racking up fines of over $360 million to date. But those fines don't help the people crowded inside our jails, or the people who are suffering without appropriate treatment, or the victims waiting for justice. The impacts of this backlog stand in the way of our work to reimagine the criminal legal system. The state must work with us and create the solutions that only the legislature can provide. There's no ambiguity here. There is a moral and legal responsibility that the state of Washington must meet now. Because we've seen what's possible when the state makes bold policy choices and transformational investments to deliver change for the people of Washington. Just look at how our state under Governor Inslee is leading the battle against the climate crisis. We now have a clean fuel standard long championed by House Majority Leader Joe Fitzgibbon, helping reduce emissions in transportation. The first carbon pricing auctions are happening this year, a significant piece of the puzzle to cut greenhouse gases here and statewide. Let's keep showing the rest of the country what it looks like to get the difficult stuff done. On every issue where Washington, D.C. fails to act, Washington State has the chance to step up, with King County leading the way. We've led through historic investments in children and youth. We've led in expanding access to affordable health care and soon behavioral health care. We're leading in the fight against climate change and systemic racism and so much more. And we will continue leading and working together to solve the big problems and do the tough things that the people of the county elected us to do. Another opportunity to reshape the future, and I am excited to to share this with you. King County government's home base is spread out around 7 blocks of downtown Seattle. Built more than a century ago, the Yesler Building and this old courthouse need restoration. The 1960s administration building across the street is vacant. The 1980s jail, as I've said, is obsolete. On some of the most valuable real estate in this entire quadrant of the country, we have a 9-to-5 workplace rather than a 24-hour neighborhood. We have a chance to rethink and remake this vast urban tract in light of what it means to be a city today. This historic area can remain the center of local government, but it can also be so much more. A neighborhood with thousands of residents of all incomes, with shops and restaurants and gathering spaces, a place that enlivens and supports the surrounding neighborhoods, public and private workplaces that reflect the way people work in this new era. It's clear that we're not simply going back to how things were. So let's use this moment to go forward. That's why I'm launching our Civic Campus Initiative. Together with community members, our employees, city and county leaders, we can honor our past and create the shared future we want. We can turn this neighborhood into a vibrant place to live, to work, to visit, to thrive. This is no small task. It's a project that will take years to design and longer to complete, but we can start with a key decision right now. Sound Transit is considering the shuttered administration building as a site for a new Link Light Rail station. If it is selected, we should make the most of this opportunity. Members of the council, rather than selling the land, I propose we keep it and allow Sound Transit to build their new tunnel and station below. Their investment in infrastructure could set the groundwork for new development above and jumpstart the reinvention of this old hillside. It's a win-win for the city, for the county, for a world-class transit system. It's an exciting possibility for the people who call our region home. This moment we're in as we rebuild from the pandemic calls on us to think big and act bold. It requires consistent vision grounded in our values and made real through determined hard work. It takes persistence, block by block, day by day, as we build the better world we envision, a world where every person has a solid footing in life. So let's dream big, and let's roll up our sleeves and get to work. If anyone can do it, the people of King County can. We have proven time and time again that we can be the people who do the big things, the difficult things, who never give up, can build, can heal. We can work together. And most importantly, we can deliver change that makes a difference in people's lives. Members of this council, the state of King County is strong, courageous, ambitious, determined to rise above petty political distractions and overcome the real challenges before us. The next chapter, it's ours to write. And we can't let our story go the way cynics and naysayers want it to. In a county with shining towers and mountain summits, ancient tribal traditions, and world-leading technology, we are bonded together by the strength of our individual stories, woven into the legacy of a vibrant and constantly evolving community. Let's prove once again that when the stakes are high, when storms approach, the people of King County don't falter. We don't retreat. We forge ahead, step by arduous step, building our shared future and delivering on the promise of tomorrow for everyone. Starting today, starting now. Thank you.
thank you, Executive Constantine, for your leadership and for your thoughtful words today. This council stands ready and willing to work with you in implementing that bold vision. The King County Council will be at recess for 5 minutes.
Sorry, I said, well, your seat.